have to go through my day-to-day life, push past this traumatic thing that happened, and still be the man that I want to be, or the woman. So I think...
You want to be a woman?
So we gather here this week again for another episode of STAG TALK, and the topic for this week is, if someone killed your child, should they die? And it was very deep as the conversation continued. We realized that there might be another topic within this topic that we need to explore. Now the question now also pans on, can we forgive that person if they kill our child? Now, it's just two parts.
Should they die? If I had to go with what I believe personally, like if obviously it's my child, there's certain things I'm okay with going to jail for, and that's one of them. So personally, and in a selfish way, yeah, they should. If I had to try to be unbiased, which in this situation it wouldn't be possible, but if I had to try to be unbiased, I'm trying to be unbiased. It's not easy because I can easily do it because I don't have a kid. So right now it would be really easy. But if I actually had a kid and someone actually killed them, I'm trying to put myself in that situation. There's not a way I could really be unbiased. But right now, it's actually kind of easy to be unbiased because I don't have a kid. I don't kill my kid. It's just a question that Zucchini had for us. But if I had to be unbiased, I guess, from one point of view, if you are alive, that means that there is time for change. Even if you go to this extreme level of murder of a child, depending on how old you are, I could see with a long, long time passing by, you might change. Now, again, me personally, if I ever did that, I think I deserve to die. I did it. And I believe most people, an eye for an eye. If you take a life, this is the other perspective. You should maybe give one. If you aren't going to give anything good in this world, why are you here? If you're not going to give any positive impact, why are you here? If you're not going to affect anyone in your bubble of your reality in any way, shape, or form that could benefit them, why are you here? Why? You're not here to help your family because they're going to help you. I hope they help you. But if you're not going to help your family, your friends, if you're not going to do something to help people in the world, to counterbalance the evil in the world, then maybe you shouldn't be here. But again, the other side to that coin is that with time comes change. So to me, I'm gonna have to say the same thing I said about the last subject. It's situational. It depends on what it was, and with this, biasedly, no, I don't think they should live. Unbiasedly, I don't think I should have the decision.
I would say, my first reaction if my child was killed, of course I'd want to kill the dude or lady who did it. But if I step back and think about it long term, I don't think it would make me feel better if they died. I think I would, in the end, want them to... I think it'd be much more torturous to spend a really bad life, the whole rest of your life in prison, or, in isolation. So I'd rather, they have to live with what they did. I think that's worse than death, worse punishment, and so I think death would just kind of be unnecessary at that point, and I probably would end up feeling more bad about myself if I had caused it. So even though my first reaction would be anger, I'd probably have to step back. And unless they're a total crazy psychopath, which is very rare, they're probably going to have some remorse or guilt, and that's really hard to deal with. And I feel like that's a challenge of its own that I would probably want them to go through if they had done something like kill my child. Now legally, at least from what I've studied in my criminal justice classes, most parents who have had children killed don't plead for the death penalty. It's actually very rare that they do, and most of them want them to spend a long time in prison. You're not legally allowed to advocate for the death penalty, but what you can do is stay silent on it for the jury. But what most people do in victim statements is they come forward and say, do not put this person to death. I would much rather them stay in prison for the whole life. And so in that case, I think, no, I don't think the person would deserve to die. I think they deserve something worse, which is having to live with it.
If someone kill my child, but I'm gonna kill you. Especially it's me. So better not do it.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
If someone killed my child, well, as a human being, I think they do deserve to die. But if you think about it more, I don't think I would kill them personally, something like that. Like Delaney said, I would prefer them to live with it, knowing that they killed somebody's child and blah. And yeah, I think that's a more punishment. And just killing them is just like, it's nothing. You're not gonna feel good about it or anything. Your child already died.
My initial reaction would be anger, because having children in the first place is a blessing, and it's not, for some people it's hard. So to think that my child is gone is a lot. Do they deserve to live? Life and death is not in my hands. That's in God's hands. So I would do what the law of the land decides. That he should go and suffer for what he did. Life and death is not something in my hand, and I feel like if I were to decide that this person should die, I will live with my, in my heart that I added to somebody else's death. So what is this gaining to me, knowing that I killed someone else because of my child? As a Christian, I believe that God allows things to happen because he wants to take you somewhere. He wants to teach you something. So yes, if this happened, my initial reaction would be anger, but I would more so want to focus on why it happened and what I'm supposed to gain from this, instead of, this person. I'm done.
Yes, I would want them to die because, well, it depends on the person itself. It's like a gang member or just, I don't know, drive by, depends. Because what if that person go and kill someone else's child or they come back for me after they've spent a sentence in jail. But then I thought about it more, and then I was like, well, it's not up to me because, I didn't make life, so I can't take it out of this world.
Get him, Theo.
If someone kills your child and that the person deserves to die, I think in the first place I would feel the person deserves to die. Like in my human perspective, I think the person deserves to die and nothing should be said about it. But from Christian perspective, I've learned a lot, dealing with people. The hardest thing that ever a Christian can ever do is to forgive. You can, I remember someone told me there's a difference between forgiveness and you forsold your forgiveness. So if I forgive the person, and if it's not truly from my heart, I didn't actually forgive the person. I just forgave the person without actually feeling in my heart that I should forgive the person. So I feel like my initial reaction would be, I have to strike back. Any way possible, I have to strike back. And if I have to come back to my senses and think about it, too wrong doesn't make it right. If I try to kill the person dies, the son will never come back, the daughter will never come back. Changes nothing. The same situation will always be there, will never change. So I think legally, they have something called restorative justice that both the victim and the offender come together and think about, make the offender talk with the victim to know how the person feels. It's a way to help them cope with certain things they go through. But the person will never forget what you actually did, even though the person will want justice. But sometimes it's like, even if you don't want the person to die, and then it goes to the court, does the court have like the right to take someone's life? That's also a problem. You don't want it, but the court decides to kill the person. So that does the court actually also have the same right to actually do it, even though you don't want it? So I think with me, the person shouldn't die just because they killed someone I love.
Stag.
Stag.
Dad.
Stag. Stag.